What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Chopper Style, and today we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk and how I hope that all this going on will change games like this coming out in the future. But, bro, Cyberpunk, what the hell? How in the world was this game released this broken? This had to be by far the worst release I've ever seen in gaming history. I mean, dude, the game had so many bugs going on with it. It was insane. When I seen them for myself, I'm like, there's no way that CD Projekt Red did not know that these bugs were in the game. They completely lied about everything. They was only allowing canned footage that they pre-recorded to be shown. You were not allowed to show any footage of your own. That should tell you right there, they knew what was going on. And it is just ridiculous. Like they did it probably because of, I guess, money, or they wanted to recoup some of the money, or whoever, somebody else was on their neck wanting them to release it by a certain time. But still, how is that a good business move to release something that's just straight up broken and you think that you're going to come up off of it? Like, dude, you see how the media is now? That stuff was on blast day one. And now I heard that they have already lost over $1 billion. And now they have a lawsuit on them. They're trying to, people are trying to take them to court, in which they should. I mean, this is a complete ripoff. And even some people weren't even getting a refund for this. Sony was, I guess they're real strict on their policy. Like if you buy a game and upload it or play it, you don't get a refund. Well, I'm glad to find out that everyone's getting a refund for this game. They've even taken it off the marketplace. And it shouldn't be on there. Like, dude, there's no way in hell a game like this should be released in that condition. It was completely unplayable. I mean, just seeing some of the glitches in the game were actually funny. Like some of the stuff I seen, I couldn't believe how broken the damn game was, man. It was an utter mess. Not for everybody, though. For the people that could enjoy the game a lot on PC and some next gen, they loved it. They loved it. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying the glitches made it unplayable. And we've seen games like this come out broken, not on this scale though. But remember Anthem? Dude, Anthem was just, it wasn't broken. It was more like lack of content. The game's release was just not what people expected. Another one was No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky released, and that was lied about. There was no multiplayer like they explained. A lot of things that they said were going to be in the game wasn't in the game. Fallout 77, that was a broken mess when it came out. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many games that are being released with not the right amount of content at launch, or the game is just flat out broken with a whole bunch of bugs. A game should be released at full strength, at least 95%. How are games being released when certain game modes aren't even put into the game yet? Remember Street Fighter when it released? It was only released at like 50%. Half of the game didn't even come with it. I think it just had a multiplayer. It didn't have nothing else. Games should not be releasing at half point. We should be getting full games at launch. It's becoming common now for games to release and they have like the day one patch, or it's some bugs that still need to be fixed, or certain game modes that are not even added to the game yet. Like it takes a month or two. They say, oh, it's coming. Then why'd you release the game? Like, look, gamers, they really want to play the game, but also there's no reason for the game not to be released when it's done. These games are being rushed and it's being shown. Way too many games are having problems or lack of content at launch. That should not happen. Cold War, even Modern Warfare 2019. You can't tell me that this game was tested thoroughly before launch. It wasn't. I feel like the people, are now the game testers. We are the ones telling them what's wrong with the game, uploading stuff on YouTube, telling them, hey, this needs fixed. And what happens? They go out and fix it. I mean, if you're the person making the game, you should know what's broken, what's not broken. That's why you have people test the game. Gaming has always been a business, but it seems like it's much more of a business now, and they care about the money first and everything else second. Look, if you want to make the most money out of a game, then release it when it's 100% done, when it has enough content. There doesn't need to be a day one patch. I mean, there are games that released with no problems, no bugs, and they've been praised and they were great. Look at the most recent God of War. It was phenomenal. Probably one of the top 3 games I've ever played in my life. I didn't have to deal with any bugs, any glitches. I'm not saying there weren't, but there wasn't no game breaking bugs. I didn't encounter any when I played it, but it was a good experience from beginning to end. The only thing they added afterwards was, I don't know, I haven't played it, but I know they added a Game Plus mode, and they might have added some more things after that, but I know the Game Plus was the only thing that came maybe a month or 2 after the game released, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, my first impressions of the game were great. Now, if I would have went into that game and it was a buggy mess, I probably would have never finished it. I would have gave it up, played something else, and would have forgot about it. You know, and how many people played Cyberpunk and they didn't get to enjoy it, and they've been waiting on this game for like how many years now, and it was released like this. I mean, they had more than enough time to bring out the game and it worked properly. Or if it wasn't going to work properly, they should have just held the game back, or at least came out and been honest. I mean, people were going to find out anyways. I'm just hoping that Cyberpunk is made an example of, so we don't have to deal with this in the future, because this is something that should not happen. I mean, if you go in the store and buy a TV and it's defective, it doesn't work as advertised, you get to take it back and get a brand new one or get your money back. There's no reason why everyone had to go through all this BS and getting their money back and dealing with glitches. You shouldn't have to deal with that, especially for a game that was advertised with no bugs, no glitches, nothing. That's false advertisement. I do, however, hope that Cyberpunk will eventually get fixed. How long it's going to take, I have no idea, but I hope it gets fixed and people get to enjoy the game that they want to enjoy. CD Projekt Red was also a very trusted company. I mean, they made The Witcher 3, they made Saints Row 2, both very good games. I would say Witcher 3 was phenomenal. It had some bugs at launch, but it was patched up and it was one of the greatest games made in a while. I mean, so much content. The DLC was like 20 or 30 hours long. Like, it was great. It was the most bang for your buck. It hasn't been a game made like that in a while. So it's going to take some time for people to trust them again. If they ever trust them again, they kind of shot themselves in the foot bad. So I just hope we don't keep seeing this going forward, man. Being let down on a game you really want to play, and it's just nothing but bugs at launch or a severe lack of content. I mean, no gamer wants to see that. They advertise these games and make them look so much fun, and then you get it and it's not what you expected. It should not be that way. But I do have high hopes that the future of gaming is going to be good. The games that are coming out for these next gen consoles look amazing. Yes, they're coming to old gen, but I can't wait to see these next gen consoles in full force. I think it's going to be some really good games coming, and hope no BS. But this is it for the video. If you like, could you please give me a like, comment, subscribe. Chopper Style out.